Welcome to another episode of Football Tailgaters. Hope everyone listening is having a good day today. In this podcast, we talk everything about the NFL, including your picks for bets and fantasy. And in today's, as usual, episode, I have here with me Yams, a Texan Jets fan, Andy, the unbiased football fan, and myself, Aaron, the Cowboys fan. And in today's news, we have two topics, or I guess two headlines, that parallel each other and involve Mac Jones and Leonard Fournett, but we're going to ask different questions from these two. And starting off with Mac Jones, who in a report, in NFL.com, was saying he said that he's making significant strides this offseason with a disciplined diet, and, quote, I think it's important to assess everything, and that was one of the things I want to improve. I made significant strides. Fixing my body, feeling comfortable, feeling healthier and better. At the end of the day, you're still a human and you want to eat what you want to eat. But you have to be disciplined the best you can. And we're going to ask the question, how do you guys think the Patriots will do this season? I think it's very nice that he's disciplining himself. And it's going to be funny, paralleling or doing a parallel comparison to Leonard Fournette, which is kind of, the opposite. Awkward situation there that they kind of came out at the same time, I guess. And yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, like you said, it's great that he's watching what he eats, as he should. He should be staying in shape. He's an athlete. As far as how he would do on the team, well, it's his second year with the Patriots, so naturally he should improve. He's in a great situation with one of the best coaches in the NFL. I would like to see a more explosive plays from Mac Jones, since I felt that he was a little bit on training wheels last year. They didn't let him, throw the big plays or throw the deep Hail Mary footballs. But speaking from a Jets fan perspective, I hope they massively suck. I hope he sucks. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I was looking at their schedule, and I have the same record as they had last year, which is 10-7. I'm looking at their division. I do give them a win against Buffalo, but I do also think that they can beat Miami and the Jets twice, just like how it was before. So, because it seems that with the Patriots, it's all about Bill Belichick there. Miami has done some great improvements, but like I've said in many episodes already, Tua it's a prove-it moment for him. If he does play well, then maybe you can give some wins to him. And the Jets, the situation is that they did have a good draft, but that doesn't mean that the draft picks are going to be like home runs. Sometimes they're busts. So, and then we also have our questioning Zach Wilson. Can he get to that next level? And also the head coach, Robert Saleh, if he can actually get them also to the next level, despite the team's resources, like the players are the key players that they have. So just because of that, it seems that I'm just going to keep them on the same record, 10-7. They should probably make the playoffs. And how they played conservatively last year with Mac Jones, I don't mind that, how they were helping him, teaching him the moments. The key moments. It wasn't a bad situation for Mac Jones to be in. So I do like how the Patriots are building for the future, and I just believe in Bill Belichick. For me, he's the best coach in NFL history. Even though he had some negative, situations about cheating and so on and so forth. I bet if he didn't have to cheat, he could have won most of all those Super Bowls. Maybe take one off if you want. Even two, if you take two off. You still have, 4 Super Bowls? That's a lot of Super Bowls. So I think that they're still built, and I just believe everything that they do, as Bill Belichick can take them.
Now, you said that the Jets and the Dolphins, they would be able to lose 2 games against the Patriots. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Really? I disagree with you. I think the Patriots, I think the Jets, as well as the Dolphins, I think they're all equal in strength in that division. Number one is Buffalo, right? There's no debate on that. The number one goes to Buffalo. But I think in terms of talent, I think they're all kind of equal, and they all could probably split a game.
Well, I mean, you make some points there, but I still think on paper right now, the Jets are still sort of the same team besides those draft picks. I mean, those are rookie players. There's no veteran players. It's still the same quarterback. It's still the same head coach. It's the same situation. Also with the Patriots, we have the same team there and the same quarterback and same head coach. And with the Dolphins, we do have a new coach there, but we have the same quarterback there that they're still learning the scheme. That's a team I think that can make actually some surprises in the AFC East. But as of right now, they need to show and prove it to me. Right now, on paper, I do have them how they were last year.
Well, I think the Dolphins and the Jets will probably give Mac Jones hell. It's not going to be as easy as it was last year for him.
I think it's going to be the same way. I kind of agree with Andy here. But I actually do think that the Jets and Dolphins are capable of beating them at least once. But I still think they're going to finish second place. And then, Miami Dolphins and Jets are really going to be very similar together. There's not going to be much separation between each other's records. So with Mac Jones showing, he's disciplined and all that kind of stuff is a very good sign and very good direction that they're going to go in the future and that they're in good hands with a good franchise quarterback here. Then that means they, drafted, the draft was worth it for them, and there's no hesitation at all for them. But from comparing it from last season, I think there's going to be, they're just going to still be a good team, but I don't think they're going to make a big jump and perhaps, take first place here. I think Buffalo Bills are still number one here, but close second is going to be with the Patriots. But like I said, is the Jets and Dolphins are capable of winning at least one game against the Patriots.
I think maybe. They're capable, but I right now as on paper, I just don't see it happening right now.
Wait, say that again?
I'm sorry. It's because I'm trying to wrap my mind and thinking of scenarios that the Jets and the Miami Dolphins can actually beat the Patriots. It can happen. It can happen. But as of right now, it's not happening. The most important position in a team is the quarterback.
Is the quarterback, correct? But he also lost. I don't know how much of an impact or how much of a influence Josh McDaniels was for Mac Jones, but he did lose his offensive coordinator. So keep that in mind that he's now going into his second year with a different offensive coordinator. Granted, he still has Bill Belichick. He is obviously the one that runs the show, right? But keep that in mind. So I don't think that we should be giving Patriots a number 2 spot automatically just because Bill Belichick. I understand he's great.
Who would you give the number 2 spot?
Do I have to make that prediction right now?
Well, yes, because you are debating it that we don't have to give it to him. So who would you give it to?
No, I debated the fact that you said that they will be able to win 2 games against the Dolphins and 2 games against the Jets, which I disagree. I think they can split the games.
And FYI, Patriots did lose to Dolphins once last year. They lost to the Bills. They only had 2 division losses last year, the Patriots.
I guess I'm just so used to them winning against those teams that I'm just like...
Dolphins have made a lot of good surprises. I think they're very underrated when it comes to the Patriots because they had the Miami Miracle. And then this past season, they beat them again in one of the last games, of course.
I see Miami as a team that
could potentially go number 2.
It's like a new, I don't know, a new restaurant, and they're putting in an awesome patio and a great bar and a great I don't know, TVs everywhere like a sports, and then you listen that a new chef came in town, which is the head coach that is coming from another city that's just gonna bring a great menu. But you still have the same manager in the restaurant that was struggling the year prior. So even if you paint it and you put it all pretty and stuff like that, you might still have some issues. Yeah, you brought other like employees that are awesome employees that came from other places, other restaurants that can help out. But let's
So
see.
you're blaming management?
Yeah,
The front
actually, no.
New management in town.
I'm blaming the leadership and the team, because I mean they hire the manager, the restaurant manager, which is Tua, to be the leader of that restaurant, and it's still like, I mean, they still have to train them. It's like, still prove it to me that you can lead this team. The employees, even though they're really good employees, the manager of the restaurant can still screw things up, and it's not going to make those employees look good. So we just have to wait. I really, really hope Tua can actually do better, because I do want to see him succeed. It would be really interesting if Miami does make some changes. It's time for AFC to make some changes. It's been the Patriots winning for so long.
This is the time.
And this is a good time, but it's like, it still prove me. To me, I still can't make any changes until they can prove it to me.
Well, Bills are the obvious number one
right,
here to compete against them, because wild card last year, that's how it ended. It was Bills demolishing the Patriots.
Josh Allen, the number 7 quarterback, right? I mean, from all the NFL.
Anyways, I just don't think that you should give number 2 to the Patriots. I think it could easily be Miami.
Yeah, but I just asked you.
What?
Who would you put a number 2 right now? We're talking about right now.
Okay, fine. Do you want me to make
right now
an official statement? Who will be number 2?
Yeah,
unofficial. I haven't looked into it. I haven't looked into who has the Patriots brought in at wide receiver, running back. I don't remember any changes right now to that team. All I can remember is the Jets have been making some great improvements, as well as Miami.
Based on your knowledge right now.
Based on my knowledge right now.
Who would you put at number 2?
I will put Miami at number 2.
Okay. I mean, maybe we should move on to the next subject before I just leave.
Sounds good to me. In this case, someone who's doing the opposite of what Mac Jones is doing is Leonard Fournette. In an article that came out with Sports Illustrated, there was a report that Leonard Fournette was not in a good shape in, like, talking about weight. He was roughly like around 30 pounds heavier. He came in. He also, I'll quote this, and on a podcast, that's where it says in the article, an episode of the Sports Day Tampa Bay podcast, Rick Stroud said coaches were not happy, and that's an understatement. When Fournette didn't participate in the OTAs, but then he shows up at the mandatory minicamp weighing damn near 260 pounds, Stroud said, and that's not a good sign for a guy that you just spent a 3-year contract on. Very interesting point that he made there. I personally think I do have issues with that. If I was, I don't know, somewhere in that team, I'd be like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, this is very important. Well, like, you got your money and then now you're kind of slacking a little bit. Seems to be like, not exactly a reoccurring event with running backs getting their money and then not performing and keeping up to standard with their bodies and stuff. But what do you guys think in that case? Do you think it's like important to have like a mandatory, I guess, like something to force them to keep them in shape? Do you think that should be the case for them?
Most certainly. This is a business. This is like any other business. You have to go and look and be the part. So even if you are in a business as a model, like if you're a model, you have to stay in shape to continue doing those modeling gigs. Any other type of business that needs you to be at a certain physique, you have to stay at that level. And for NFL, it's not only hurting yourself, you're hurting your team. They're counting on you to be ready to go in shape, ready to go for the season, because now they're put in a predicament. If he cannot produce, then they're gonna have to look into somewhere else and for another running back to take his place. And they were actually really they were during the offseason, they were preparing for Leonard Fournette to be ready to go. And it was about 40 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of pounds in the offseason to gain and to not be ready for the season. So I'm all for them to be able to check in mandatory, kind of like if it was a UFC or a boxing match, to see if they're like making the weight. I mean, they can even have a buffer zone, but I think 40 pounds is a ridiculous amount of number that he's not going to be ready. And we've seen with other teams. I know Yams with the Jets fan here. She has her team has a similar problem with Mekhi Becton, their offensive left tackle. He's supposed to be the star, the blindside protector, and they have had issues with him controlling his weight. So if that's the left tackle, that's like the number 2 most important position in the whole team. So if they can't be ready to go, then why are you in the NFL? Why are you playing? Why are you not taking this seriously? I bet you Tom Brady at this moment is super upset with him because of how of a perfectionist he is. I know that he has changed his ways a little bit. He's more relaxed, but I think he still has that competitive nature, and he came to compete and win another Super Bowl. So I still think he is going to be upset and actually talking to him, of course, and of course giving him his vitamins and his TB12 like regimen to see how fast he can like lose some weight for the season. I mean, he still has like I don't know, a month and a half left yet before the season starts. But it is pretty bad for Leonard Fournette to not be ready.
A month and a half to lose 32 pounds?
Well, he was listed at 220 or 221, if I'm not mistaken. 228?
Yeah, so it's 32 pounds. Yeah, he can do it. An athlete can do it. I can't, but an athlete should be able to do it.
Well, the coaches said, if I'm not mistaken, Aaron, they said that he's a long ways from being ready. So, it's, I mean, besides that, I don't know what the regimen is. I mean, I wish I was in those training camps so I can see how how everything is the process, and for them to actually lose the weight and be ready, because I'm sure that there are some things that he needs to take that may affect his weight as well, and not an easy transition that he can just do in the off season to just concentrate only on losing the weight. But now he has to be ready, practicing, and everything that affects the situation. I mean, I'm not an expert there on the training camp, but I believe that it's not if they wouldn't be saying it's a bad look if it wasn't a bad look right now.
Yeah, most certainly. I think it is needed, especially if you just signed a player to a new contract, which I believe that's what happened with Leonard Fournette here. For 3 years. So just like a boxing match, if you're going to step on the scale and you're over the weight, you don't get to fight. It should be the same, weight maintenance here with the NFL and the team. I don't know what happened here with Fournette. Perhaps he just kind of let it go. He started to relax a bit. We all know that Brady announced his retirement, and maybe that's when Fournette just, started to like relax. I'm not going to be in the Super Bowl contending team anymore until, a month or a month and a half until Tom Brady decided to return. Then, convinced Fournette to come back. In fact, it may be safe to say, and it probably is going to irritate Andy here, but it's probably safe to say that Tom Brady might be as checked out as Fournette as well. Not physically, but probably mentally. He was already bound to retire. He had a retirement on his mind. So maybe the whole meaning, or what I mean to say is the massive desire to win a Super Bowl is probably not there for Tom Brady, because we already know what's the end game.
100% I disagree with you. 100,000, a million percent I would disagree with you. No, of course he's ready to win another Super Bowl. He wouldn't be back if that's the case. He's the ultimate competitor here. So, I mean, we'll see.
Then why did he retire?
I mean, he's at a certain age as well to be like, I'm okay with it. But once like a month passed, he felt like, you know what, I still have some in the tank. There was an article that I believe we posted on our Instagram that he advised that he thought that he had like 5 years left after he was, 44. And he clearly says that he doesn't think that he has 5 years left. So this probably might be his last year in the NFL, and I'm pretty sure he's going to compete his hardest because it's going to be his last year. He's not here just to like have fun. That's not his character. That's not who Tom Brady is. But if I can go back to Fournette, The only other player that I can compare to him is Eddie Lacy. I don't know if you guys remember, he was a running back for Green Bay Packers, and the Green Bay Packers always had an issue with his weight. He was weighing like around 250 something, 253 if I'm not mistaken. But he was a pretty good running back. I'm just not sure if that's Leonard Fournette's style. It's not like Leonard Fournette was a beast as a running back as well, and at least Eddie Lacy did play pretty well, even though with his weight. So I still think if the coaches say that there's something wrong with his weight, I completely I believe the coaches.
Yeah, it's a very good comparison to what Eddie Lacy was dealing with, and now he's a free agent. He last worked out with the Ravens in April 2020, so he's currently a free agent right now. But Leonard Fournette, his past season, 14 games, he rushed for 812 yards and 8 touchdowns, and he catched 69 passes for 454 yards, and he scored 2 touchdowns receiving. So that ended up getting him a 3-year contract worth of $21 million.
With those stats, it sounds like they were using a lot of him in the passing game. So yes, I believe you have to be a little bit more elusive, Jones, right?
I think Ronald Jones is more of the workhorse,
right,
in on the ground here, and you have to kind of think about that case. So if you're gonna get a receiving back that is weighing a lot more than he used to, that's an issue. I definitely would be pretty upset at that. And he only has until July 26th to, fix his mistake and, I don't know, mend things together, not make it as bad as it is right now. But we'll have to see with that. We'll move on from there and have the topic that I forgot to mention at the very beginning of the episode. We're going to rank our QBs from 1 to 5, not legacy, but current situation right now, how the current QBs rank this coming season from 1 to 5. We're going to talk about that, and Yams, you can start with your list so Andy can get mad.
I hope I don't get him mad.
Start yelling at you.
Third time's a charm, I guess.
Putting Josh Allen in number 7, that was just insane. But go for it. Go with number, I don't know, who's your number 1? Tannehill or what?
Yes, Tannehill. My number 1 is Tom Brady.
I'm sorry?
My number 1 is Tom Brady.
Okay.
He's obviously, I have him number 1 because he has a whole bunch of Super Bowls. Any team he's on, he will automatically make that team a playoff team, and he will automatically make that team a Super Bowl contender team. Number 2, I have Aaron Rodgers. He's just good with the football, flick of the wrist, check downs to his wide receivers without even looking at them. Need a Hail Mary, say no more, it's Aaron Rodgers. I have number 3, Patrick Mahomes. He's a beast. He has 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win. But when you look at him statistically, Roger has a clear edge. That's why I put Mahomes at number 3. Matt Stafford, I have him at number 4. I do like Matthew Stafford. He's a great quarterback. He was a great quarterback in a horrible situation with Detroit Lions, so I am excited to see what he can do with the Rams. He finally got out with his first time with a new team and actually won the Super Bowl, which is kind of hard to do when you go to a team once. It's kind of like trial and error first, and then your second year you kind of hit it right on the money and win the Super Bowl. Well, he did it in his first year with the new team. Number 5, I have Joe Burrow, Cujo. He survived Urban Meyer in college. He gets injured, then helps the Bengals to get the Super Bowl. He got sacked 9 times in the Super Bowl, and he did this in 2 years, and that's pretty impressive. That's my 1 through 5. Any issues?
No, I do like your list. I think it's a little too early for Burrow. I do agree that he can actually be a top 5 quarterback in the future if he can still continue playing consistently as he did last year. We know how good he was in college, but that doesn't mean that it was going to be transferring over to the NFL, because that happens to a lot of college quarterbacks. But he is actually showing up and proving a lot of people wrong if they were thinking that way. So I'll start with my list. Number 5, I have Russell Wilson. Huge fan. I know that he's with Denver Broncos this year. I'm really excited what he's going to be able to do. It's a new coach that came into the Denver Broncos with a new quarterback. So hopefully they're both talking like constantly in meetings to actually having a good scheme, going into using Russell Wilson's talents and skills. That'll be that would actually put him onto another level. So I have number 5, and the reason he's not in like higher is because there has been some struggles in Seattle. I know that he's had a horrible offensive line, that he just got sick of it. That's why he wanted to leave. But there's also the situation that he did have good defenses when he actually went to the Super Bowls. So I need to see him, even though he has taken his team to the playoffs many times, I would like to see him like higher now in this team with the Broncos. So we'll see about that. Number 4, I have Josh Allen. With the Buffalo Bills, he has done so well these last what would I say 3-4 years that he's been there. He's done so well that he's been to the AFC Championship. He is very close to get to that Super Bowl. He has a really good chemistry with Stephon Diggs, with the head coach. They have he actually uses his legs when he needs to. I mean, he's a smart quarterback. I'm really surprised. I really didn't have him when he came from college to be this high, to be playing this well. So kudos to Josh Allen. I have him at number 4. And then the top 3. Number 3, I have Aaron Rodgers. He's a Hall of Famer. He is just a straight up like gunslinger. Even though he doesn't have all the time really good weapons. I know he had Devontae Adams for a while, and he did really well. But if you look at the Green Bay Packers first round picks, they never get him any weapons. So he's done really well, gone to the NFC Championships many times. I think it's the Green Bay Packers' fault for not being able to win more Super Bowls, because they do have a huge talent in Aaron Rodgers that he is going to be considered as one of the best quarterback in NFL history. Number 2, I have Patrick Mahomes. Even though he didn't play great last year, you can still not deny his skill set. He's a young quarterback, and he is just one of those types of talents that he comes into the league and just changes the way that quarterbacks play. His maneuvers, his quickness, his quick passes without even looking at the wide receiver and just putting it right on the money. He is a really, really big time quarterback that I am super excited because of the type of quarterback that he is. And he is an example for future quarterbacks in college to bring that same type of skill set to the NFL for the future. And number 1, I agree with Yams. It's Tom Brady, the number 1 quarterback of all time. He still plays at a high level. He has won 7 Super Bowls. He went to the NFC Championship last year. No, he did not. He almost did. He almost went to the NFC Championship last year, but the year prior, he actually won the Super Bowl. So he is just the best competitor. He's kind of like a Michael Jordan. He just thinks of being competitive, works hard every single year. He gets his team in line. That's the same type of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant type of personality that this is not just about making money. This is about winning championships, something that a lot of these players don't have in their mindset. So Tom Brady, even at his age, he's playing at a huge level, and it's going to be really sad that he's going to be retiring. I'm excited that he's going to be playing again. So it's like watching the football Michael Jordan, because after he's retired, it's going to be really hard to fill in those shoes.
Too bad he's not as athletic as him, but I mean, for the most part, yeah, it's pretty much true, based on his success and stuff.
Different type of sport, completely different type of sport for to be of the athletic. And the quarterback position, it's very, very different than basketball. But I do see what you mean, though.
It's a lot of mental for quarterback as well. It's very important. I'm gonna start from the bottom to the top, 5 to 1. So I have Joe Burrow at number 5. He's got a really high, or last season he had a very high completion percentage at 70.4. and he had a touchdown interception. It was 34-14. Not the best, but also not the worst, considering his situation as well. His passer rating, it's a 108.3, pretty good for me. His yards per attempt was an 8.9, because he's got a lot of deep threat receivers. He had, 4,611 yards in this past season. It's just what I'm seeing with him is he's just going up and he's only getting better. And I'm very excited to see what he can accomplish once he has a better team surrounding him that needs to improve. That offensive line is very, I'd be worried about it. So we got to fix that as far as the Bengals. And then number 4, I'd put Josh Allen. He didn't have a high completion percentage. And his yards were like, okay. He was not in the highest, but also not the lowest. His passer rating was pretty low, but athletic and everything when it comes to just being a well-rounded quarterback, he's got it. He's got that special thing that not every quarterback has. And if he's performing at this level, I can only imagine that if he performs a lot better this coming season, we can see them in the Super Bowl. But he needs to, I guess, just be a better quarterback. It's just something that's missing that I think also, actually, now that I'm just realizing, the defense, I think getting Von Miller would be a pretty good key to helping out there. They had, the struggle with Kansas City and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Bills can do. And I hope that Josh Allen can perform better. And I think he's capable of doing that. And number 3, I have Patrick Mahomes. He had a 37 touchdown to 13 interceptions for a difference there. And he had a 66.3 completion percentage, along with a 98.4, passer rating. Not the best, but he's just got an insane amount of talent. He was top 4 or top 5 in pass yards. He was number 4 in them. He's just insane. He's got it all, and he's only losing talent around him, except the running backs. It's still pretty solid for what I think, at least. But the things he does with what he's given is great, I think. And for number 2, I have Tom Brady because of his age. I would have put him at number 1 if he was younger. For Tom Brady, it's just his age, and I just have to see what he does. He did have an insane season this past season, being number 1 in pass yards, having a 43 touchdown to 12 interception, which is an insane amount. I think he was number 1 in that stat, following Matthew Stafford right behind there. So, and he had a 102.1 passer rating. So he's doing great things, but we just have to make sure that the team around him can help him out. And I think,
and lose weight
and lose weight. For what the point was saying for Yams, that I don't think that if you put him in any team right now, currently in how he's in, he's not gonna do as good as he is right now. He just has a great amount of talent surrounding him. That team is just Super Bowl ready, and he's just the perfect piece for it. So if you piece them together, or if you grab him and put him in another team, I don't think he would be as successful, but it really depends on that team. He has to be surrounded again with great talent and a good offensive line to protect him, because he is aging. He is pretty healthy for his age, though. But moving on from that one, number 1, I would put out Aaron Rodgers. I think it's he does what Tom Brady can do, but just better and with less. He's got a lot more natural talent. I think more Tom Brady's more scheme-wise, very depends on his team. And Rodgers, he does it with janitors as receivers. It was insane. Losing Devontae Adams is going to be very interesting for me to see what he can do with what he has right now. He has good running backs, a good dual running back system going on. Yeah, he's got a great defense. But, look at his stats. 37 touchdowns and 4 interceptions last season. And he has the highest quarterback passer rating. He didn't get the the most yardage out of all the quarterbacks, which is fine. But when you're throwing that many interceptions, I'll take them any day over someone who's doing 12 interceptions like Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes 13, Matthew Stafford 17, all that kind of stuff. And he's doing it with nobody at the line, with just Devontae Adams that past season. So now it's going to be very interesting to see. That man just needs some help, and he needs a good team, and I don't think they're able to provide him that. There's always something missing with them, and he's just so special. So that's my ranking. So it goes Aaron Rodgers, number 1. Number 2, Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes, number 3. And then number 4, Josh Allen. And number 5, Joe Burrow.
So my problem with your list is number 5 being Joe Burrow. So you think Joe Burrow is better than Matthew Stafford, the quarterback that just won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, because Joe Burrow's not on the Rams.
Right, but still. But okay, fine.
Give Matthew Stafford that line, that O-line with the Bengals, and he's going to be in Detroit all over again.
Maybe. Yeah, that could happen.
Maybe.
But, no, I'm just saying it's just Matthew Stafford has so much veteran in him that he knows more about how to control situations. Maybe if you put Joe Burrow with the Rams, that doesn't mean that he was going to win a Super Bowl. So he's still pretty new as a quarterback.
And he was in the Super Bowl with the lesser team. The better overall team, the Rams, were able to succeed because they just had a really good defense, and you got what's his name, Chidobe Awuzie and Eli Apple as your cornerbacks. Really?
Well, that's defense though. We're talking about offense.
But he was able to success based on the situation he was put in. Well, like he wasn't succeeding in Detroit. You have to put him. He's like similar to Tom Brady. You put him with a really good team, and he's gonna do great things.
I think it's just too
Joe Burrow is doing it without a complete team, and he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but also look at his offense too. I mean, he had Jamar Chase, one of the best wide receivers in the whole league, and I mean, luckily for him, it was his wide receiver. Yeah,
Odell Beckham.
Nah, come on, Odell Beckham. You can question that. I'll give you Cooper Kupp.
He helped winning the Super Bowl.
Because he's a receiver, so of course he needs to like catch the ball, of course. But I mean, I'll give you Cooper Kupp as a slot receiver, and then Mixon compared to the running backs of the LA Rams. Like which LA Rams running back is actually a fantasy leader, as Mixon is. Also, T.Y. Higgins. I mean, Higgins. It could be also, I mean, compared to the other wide receivers at the LA Rams, he could be better than those. I mean, you can actually make a comparison between Odell Beckham and Higgins. I was gonna say Higbee.
No, that's on the Ram side. No, and I understand that, but man, the offensive line on the Rams is the big difference here.
No, I'm with you. I am totally with you. But also,
and you can have, he has all those weapons, and like I'm saying, he has no offensive line, and that's a very big difference, as you noticed. You know, having a good offensive line to protect them does make the difference. The last play that Joe Burrow was trying to succeed, throwing it to that running back, I forgot his name, but he was on the run because he was getting chased down to be sacked. But he was gonna do it. He was gonna come back. It was gonna happen.
Well, we wouldn't know
if he had an offensive line.
We didn't know it was gonna happen after that play. But yeah, I see your point. But if I had to choose a team right now, and let's just say I'm not building for the future, that for this year to win a Super Bowl this year.
We're not talking about a team. We're talking about a quarterback. The quarterback is the better overall right now, talent-wise.
If you're
Joe Burrow, that's why I put him above.
Nah, I'm just
because if you plug in Matthew Stafford to any other team, he won't do as good as Joe Burrow. All I'm saying is that Matthew Stafford would probably perform the same as Joe Burrow if he was with the Bengals.
Yeah, I still would go with Stafford just because of his veteranship. He has been with the league for so many more years, and he knows more than just Burrow is still learning. He'll get there. I'll put more money into Burrow getting into that top 5, like I was saying with my list. But as of right now, like I would still continue choosing Matthew Stafford. And also, I mean, Russell Wilson is another quarterback that you didn't put on the top 5, that you put Burrow above him as of right now.
Wilson is number 6.
But you still put him ahead of him, though.
Yeah, I know.
So that's another big question mark that I would give you. I mean, it's Russell Wilson. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. He's gone to the NFC Championships too. He's always almost every year in the playoffs with a bad team. So, I mean, that's just something that I would just choose Russell Wilson for this year. And then the other critique that I have is just putting Rodgers be ahead of Brady. Just with the Super Bowl, I can just tell you, hey.
Okay, no. We said no legacy here. We said overall talent and coming in this current season, who is the better quarterback? Well, Aaron Rodgers is. We're not doing legacy.
No, I'm not. Okay, fine. Let me backtrack a bit. Based on his veteranship and his style of his competitiveness, that he's gone to the Super Bowl so many times and is probably, didn't they get into the same type of level in the playoffs last year? It was the 49ers against the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers lost. And it was the Rams against the Buccaneers and they lost. So they lost at the same level in the playoffs. So... And the year prior, Tom Brady won. So, and Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know that the Green Bay Packers have some type of, I don't know. It's more their fault than Aaron Rodgers. I'll give you that. But it's just been so many years that they can't just get into that Super Bowl again. They always fail in that NFC Championship game. It's just, and I mean, I can bring highlights of him. Like even when he played the Cardinals that year, that he actually accidentally I would say he would then try to kick that ball to the Cardinals for that interception, for that touchdown and overtime. But I'm just saying right now, I would still pick Tom Brady because it's Tom Brady. It's like if you're comparing, it's if you're comparing Michael Jordan with, I don't know.
No. Stop. Terrible. No, stop it. That's so bad because, Todd can bring up the same mistakes Tom Brady did when he thought it was fourth down. Oh, throw up the number 4. I thought it was fourth down. Same mistake if you're going to compare Aaron Rodgers doing that mistake with the Cardinals. There it is. I just compared it to you. Stat-wise,
well, I guess, Aaron
Rodgers is better and he has less.
I really doubt
Tom Brady has a lot more talents. And if you put him with the Buccaneers, Aaron Rodgers can do magic, absolute magic.
I really doubt Tom Brady would have made that mistake in an NFC Championship game. I really doubt it.
And that's why he didn't go to the Super Bowl this past season.
Well, that mistake of the fourth down was a regular season game. It wasn't a playoff.
I know, but either way, he wasn't able to produce a Super Bowl run this past season.
And didn't he win that game regardless, though? Or he lost that game?
Those
No, he lost it.
Yeah.
But it was a meme.
It was he lost.
He lost?
He thought.
Yes.
He thought he had a fourth down to go ahead and try to win the game.
And it was over. Was it this last season when it happened?
Yeah, it was last season.
And you're saying his competitive mindset. His competitive mindset should be every single game if you're putting him to that standard. I'm just saying that quarterbacks make mistakes, and it's just a bad comparison that you just pull up some kind of crazy mistake because all quarterbacks have done a lot of mistakes at very bad times. Russell Wilson, he could have made a different throw. Yeah, the play calling wasn't good, but that Super Bowl with the Patriots where that interception happened.
Let me bring in another point then with Rodgers and Tom Brady. Again, I have so much respect for Rodgers, but here's another one. You have so many players because this is a key characteristic of a quarterback that he puts the team together. He brings the team together, and that's something that you look for a quarterback, leadership. And something with Aaron Rodgers that his ex-teammates, I can't remember on the top of my head, but it has been talked about on ESPN and other sources that there's not that many players that actually talk well about him, that speak well about him. And with Tom Brady, mostly all players that play with him rave about him, that he actually brings the team together. So that's a huge characteristic, and maybe that's another reason why the Green Bay Packers have struggled. I mean, you can even ask Greg Jennings, and he can give you his opinion.
Okay, but why? It's like you're speaking as if I'm putting Tom Brady at like number 4 compared to Aaron Rodgers number 1. He's just number 2. It's just I'm giving the slight edge because statistically speaking, which we're talking about how good they're going to be this coming season and how they've been performing, Aaron Rodgers has a slight edge because he's been above Tom Brady in most cases. A touchdown to interception ratio is insane compared to Tom Brady. He's thrown more touchdowns, but he's thrown 12 interceptions. Tom Brady does have the better passing yardage than Aaron Rodgers, but everything else is just the edge to Rodgers. I'm not saying that it's a clear number one. I'm saying it's close. I'm not saying Tom Brady isn't an insane quarterback that, can if put in the right situation and can do crazy things. Yes, he has that competitive edge. It can bring the team together. Okay, but Aaron Rodgers is still statistically better and just a better quarterback. And
I feel like if this is a debate of who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. I know we're not talking legacy, but it feels that way because a lot of people say statistically LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. He has a better passing, better assist, better.
Yes, and it's this endless conversation that it's just never going to be over. So there's always going to be that competition between those two. But I'm not taking anything away from Tom Brady. I'm just, in my personal opinion, I like
7 Super Bowls. That's all that I need. 7 Super Bowls.
We're gonna see if this list changes. This is the list of now. So at the end of the season, we'll meet again and we'll ask each other what's the top 5 quarterbacks.
Who performed better, not legacy.
Exactly.
Like I've said. Put those Super Bowls aside. I don't care about those Super Bowls. How are you doing right now? Can you do it? Can you be a really good quarterback? Can you be that best quarterback out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL? That's what I'm trying to see. And Aaron Rodgers was just slightly better than Tom Brady. Not by much, but he was slightly better. And he had less.
I am shocked that you put Tom Brady at number 2. That's bad. That's bad. And me, who I hate Tom Brady, I know that he's the best.
But
yeah, no, he is because he has been in the past. But right now, he is aging as well. And I'm trying to see what he's going to do to perform when he comes back from his mini retirement that he had.
Okay,
yeah, but any team he goes to, a player will want to go and play for Tom Brady. No one has done that for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no, I agree. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about how good are they.
Well, that's part of being good.
Yeah, that's a quality that you look for. How I was telling you about bringing the team together. He picks up the phone, and everybody's like, "Oh heck yeah, let me go and play with you." Aaron Rodgers,
Antonio Brown, who burnt his bridge, obviously, but he wanted to go play Tom Brady twice. But then again, dissed him, right? Because he's kind of crazy. But that's an example of someone who wanted to go play for Tom Brady.
And I'm not disagreeing at all. I don't see what the point is.
Well,
here.
we agree to disagree that you have him on number 2.
Yeah, well, it's because we were talking about maybe that quality. Aaron doesn't.
Yeah,
think
no,
that quality
for me,
is not too much on that, and it's more about the other skills.
When you put everything together, yes, I do appreciate that quality. That's why he's a very close number. Like he could be number 1, but to me, it's
okay.
Just I'm more attracted to what Aaron Rodgers could give me by just performing.
Okay, so next time, I will put my list based on pure talent, not characteristics or quality.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want.
I'm still using the
it's
other
a free country.
yeah.
Okay. Fine. Screw you guys.
No. It's just for me, that characteristic that you and I, Yams, are talking about is a key characteristic for quarterbacks in that leadership, because this sport is the ultimate competitive, in my opinion, the ultimate competitive team sport. And there's so many factors that are involved, and leadership is a big time quality. If we go back into the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, I bet you Matthew Stafford, he's a good leader. People in Detroit have talked well about him.
Okay. So if that's the case, then I'm putting Deshaun Watson out of the list because he
shouldn't
touches
have been
women
on.
inappropriately.
He's not even on my list. I don't know why you guys have him on your list.
Because we were talking about talent-wise, but if we're including characteristics, I don't want some guy in legal trouble, so get him out of here.
That is part of talent. Emotional intelligence is really hard to achieve, and Tom Brady has that.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson does not.
Yeah, no, I know that you didn't have him in your list. I had him.
Dak Prescott should be higher because Dak Prescott is an insanely good leader.
Yeah,
but his talent is not insanely great.
Yeah, and that's why he would,
That's why
he would
he's
be on
at
the lower
number
part
8.
of that list.
Yeah, there's some great coaches that are great leaders, but maybe they just can't then talent-wise. So,
yeah.
What is it? What's that saying? Those that can't do teach or whatever. Well, it's part of that quality as a leader, right? So.
I'm shocked that you guys have Josh Allen so high up.
because he's been in the
I mean,
AFC.
look what he's done.
Yeah, he's been in the AFC Championship like constantly, and he's
Constantly?
yeah, these last few years he's dominating in the AFC.
Yeah.
Man, kudos to him. I mean, that's exciting. Every time he plays against Mahomes, it's a shootout. Those two, a shootout, and it's like and it's exciting as an NFL fan because you can see what the next generation of quarterbacks are going to be. We're moving into these new generation of quarterbacks, which is Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Burrow, and Prescott. So these are exciting talents to see for the future. Hopefully your Mac Jones becomes that. I do hope that not Mac Jones.
Excuse me?
Zach
Zach
Wilson.
Wilson?
Excuse me?
Oh no!
How dare you?
It's because we were talking about
How
Mac
dare
Jones.
you?
I really hope Zach Wilson
no.
gets to that level. It's because probably Mac Jones. I don't know. He'll play good. I'm just worried about Zach Wilson. Honestly, I'm worried about Zach Wilson. A whole bunch of people have been saying that he's a really good talent and
But
great
why
talent.
do you keep saying? Why do you say the Buffalo Bills have constantly been in the AFC Championship? I
Didn't
only
they-
remember
Twice?
once.
Didn't they go twice?
That's why. Why do you have Josh Allen so high?
Because it's been recent evidence, and I have him at number 4. I still have Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Mahomes ahead of him. Like, I mean, if
I had a whole bunch of people ahead of him. I have him at 7.
I know,
But-
and it's ludicrous.
No, look at the quarterbacks that I have. They're all great.
Yeah, I mean, Yams, Luda.
Well, look, Buffalo went to the AFC Championship in 2020, and that was just one time. They haven't gone back since, like, who knows, like many years. So yeah, you're nuts. It's only been once.
I felt like I thought that they went twice, but I mean, he's been giving so much good evidence. Of
I
how
think
he's
you're
been
just
winning.
giving him a lot of, it's fine. It's okay. Whatever.
Kind of like an eye test. You just know.
Check your eyes.
I have glasses.
So in 2019 they finished. In 2018 they were 6-10. When did Josh Allen roll in?
When he got drafted, he's going on his 5th year.
So 2017.
Mm-hmm.
They finished 2017 9-7, third in the AFC East, and they made the wild card playoffs, and they lost. 2018 they went 6-10, finished last. So that means below the Jets, by the way. 2019,
well, yeah, maybe that year.
2019 10-6, they finished second in the East, lost wild card playoffs. 2020 13-3, finished first in the AFC East, and they lost the conference championship. 2021 they lost in the divisional playoffs, and they finished first in the AFC East with a 11-6 record.
He is a good quarterback, but he needs help. Just Diggs. He needs someone else besides Diggs. I mean, they need to get him another wide receiver to throw to.
Yeah, but
I think they need a running back.
And they need a running back. Yeah.
But even with just Diggs,
Just like Antonio
he's been
Brown
playing
said.
really well.
Just like Antonio Brown said, yeah, your quarterback can be great and all, but you can't do it all alone. That's what he said about Tom Brady. He's great and all, but he can't do it all alone.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still I agree because it's a team sport.
It's like similar to Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, where they were compared a lot to where they just have a lot of natural talent that they can still succeed even when they're not given that much help with, which has been kind of the case here. So if you just put more pieces that can boost their performance and help them out, whether it's also defensively or offensively, they can be definitely Super Bowl bound. It was a tough list. It was a tough list, but I think for that's gonna be it. Unless you guys want to rant about
Nope.
my list again.
No, I'm good. I'm good with my list. I think you should just flip 1 and 2. But
I'm done talking to you
Okay.
guys. I'm done.
So that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on our socials with football_tailgaters, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, even Facebook. I think you were mentioning we have all kinds of content there, videos and questions, news coming out and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, see you guys later.
Thank you.
laters.